All right. We'll get this sorted out. All right. Hang on with me just a second. And we'll uh, okay. Let's see if anyone gets this. Okay. Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully, someone. Hey, someone's here. Yay. I don't know who you are, but I can see you're here. Rockin'. Feel free to say hi. Awesome. Hey, hi, Jeremiah. Good to see you. Uh, Excellent. Glad you're here. Glad the new link showed up for people. Had a little bit of a technical problem with the old one. My bad. Terribly sorry. So, anyway, we got about 1 minute by my clock, and I'll go ahead and get started. Hey, all right. Well, it's time. Uh, okay, only two people, but that's okay. With our little technical hiccup, I guess that's just how it is. Three people now. Awesome. Good deal. Hopefully, more people will start showing up soon. Um, so, I am Professor Shirts, like shirts that you wear. I'm your humanities professor. I'm teaching two sections of humanities. I've sent the same link out to both of you because I'm not going to do this twice. Why would I? No. Yeah. I'm always like this. Anyway, this is weird, right? I mean, this is weird. I'm not wrong, am I? I don't know if anyone, if you're just staring at me. Four people, rock and roll. I feel like this is weird. The whole online thing, it's very strange. I get that. I'm going to try and make this as minimally stressful for you as I can, while making it minimally stressful for me if possible. But if there's a choice of saving you stress by my taking on stress, I'm going to do that because that's my job. Uh, the one good thing about this is I can smoke while I'm teaching, so that's something. Because they don't let you do that anymore. When my brother was first in college, yeah, it is what it is. That's right. Hi, Angel and Lauren. Good to see you guys. Um, well, my brother was in college in 1981, and I went down to the campus to visit him once. And in the classroom, there were ashtrays built into the desks. Uh, how weird is that, right? It's a different era, isn't it? Anyway, okay. So humanities. Uh, I guess this is not going to be one of those things where you walk into the wrong room because you're looking for biology, right? Um, Humanities 1. Um, I'm going to talk a little bit about the class and what we're going to accomplish in it. Um, Feel free to ask me questions. Like if you have any questions about the grading, I realize the whole ebook thing has been a nightmare. Uh, Sorry, I'm trying desperately to sort that out. Um, I've posted scans of the first two chapters so you can at least do some of the reading. Uh, yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine, Juan. Come in whenever you like. This is going to be recorded, of course, and posted later for those who couldn't make it right now. Anyway, I'm going to talk a little bit about the class, and I'm going to give you a little bit of material from my lectures. And then we're going to adjourn, and we'll figure out what's going on. I don't know if 1 o'clock or 12 is the best time for this. You guys can like let me know. I can maybe put up a poll or something on Blackboard. Um, Maybe I can do it at 1. We're just getting started, so we're still figuring all this stuff out. Okay, so Humanities 1. Well, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. This is Elias. Hello, Elias. Aren't you cute? He's very cute. Okay. Different, good, not alcohol. Okay. Good. Yay. Right? Isn't Elias adorable? He's so much of a problem child. He's so cute and he likes to destroy things, but he's so cute. So what are you gonna do? I loved him the moment I saw him one, so I'm right with you. Okay, so I know that you're all in here because of a burning love for the humanities and not at all because it's a required class. um, no, I get it. Look, uh, let me start off by telling you a little anecdote. When I was in undergrad, I was an English and philosophy major, and I had a biology class. And in that biology class, the lecture was 75% of the grade, and the lab was 25% of the grade. It was just one grade. You didn't get a separate grade in the lab. It was just 25% of your overall grade was your lab work. And I hate lab work, and I'm not good at it, which is why I'm in the humanities and not the sciences. Uh, and I had a lot of hard classes that semester. I had a seminar on John Milton, an upper division seminar on John Milton. I had a seminar on German 19th century philosophy. I had a hard semester. And so I did not go to the lab. I just made sure that I made good grades on the tests in the lecture portion. And I did not go to the lab, and I took a 0 in the laboratory portion, which means my maximum score would be a 75. And I scored pretty close to 100 average on the tests. So I got like a 73 average or something. And so I had a C. And the biology professor was very disappointed. And he said to me, "You could have had an A in this class so easy." And I said, "But I didn't need an A. And I don't care." um, that story is my way of telling you this. I know this is a required class. And I know that many of you would not be in this class if you didn't have to be. And I know that many of you have other things to do with your life. I get that. I am not going to hold that against you. I am not one of those professors who, like, I had a professor who said, "While you're in my class, it's the most important thing in your life." And I'm like, bullshit, man. That is not how, that is crazy. I'm not that arrogant. I want you to enjoy learning the humanities. I want you to get something out of this. I hope that your life will be richer after this class is over. I certainly find that the humanities have enriched my life. And I hope that I can share some of that with you. But in the end, if you put in a C level effort because all you need is a C, that's your choice. And I'm not qualified to make that choice for you. I'm not qualified to run your life for you. Barely qualified to run mine. Um, Now, if you put in a C level effort and you're expecting an A and you come complaining to me, we're going to have a problem. I'm going to be like, sorry, you put in a C level effort. You got to see that's how it is. But if you're like, hey man, all I wanted out of this was a C so I could pass and get on with my life, and you put in a C level effort, I'm not going to give you a hard time. I'm not going to chastise you. I'm not going to try to make you feel bad. I'm going to say, hey man, the material is here when you're interested. And if you're not interested, cool. That's how it is. I'm fine with that. Now, you do have to take the class, uh, and you have to pass it if you want to graduate. So, like, I advise putting in a little effort, but it's really hard to fail my class. Um, if you put in even a reasonable effort, you're going to do okay. I'm a very laid back kind of guy with things. So, okay, preach, Keller. Good deal. So that's sort of how I approach this. Now, what is the humanities? What are the humanities? What is the? I have an English degree. I feel like I should know. What are the humanities? Anyway, I feel like I should know that. Kind of everything. This class is a bit of a buffet, a smorgasbord, uh, an all-in-one kind of thing. We're going to talk about religion, politics, history, art, literature, music, architecture, the whole nine yards. We're going to talk about all the humane studies, which is to say, not the sciences, which are sort of the technical skills that make life possible. We're going to talk instead about the stuff that makes up the substance of human life, not how we live so much as why we live. Um, and the goal in this class is to paint a big picture, is to give you a little understanding. It's not a history class because I'm not focusing on historical events primarily. We're going to talk about history, yes, but I don't care about names or dates. I will never ask you a name or a date or I'll never count off for it in one of the essays. I almost said on one of the tasks, but I forgot in this new universe of pandemic teaching, I'm not giving you tasks. So there you go. I'll never ask you a name or a date because I have a PhD in philosophy and I have no idea when Plato died. I have a vague idea, but if you needed an exact date and put a gun to my head, that'd be it. I'd be toast. I got nothing. Because it doesn't matter. To do philosophy, I don't need to know when Plato died. I need to understand his thinking. And that's the approach I'm taking here. I don't care if you know the names or the dates. I just really aggressively don't care. I want you to get the big picture. I want to tie some things together. I'm more interested in your understanding than your knowledge, in other words. I don't care so much if you can recite facts to me, except insofar as those facts are essential to understanding the big picture of life. And so that naturally brings us to the next question. What is the big picture? Well, the big picture that we're going to be talking about is that people are basically people, no matter what time period or where they are on Earth. We're going to be looking at the commonality of human experience. What we care about does not really change that much. And who we are doesn't really change that much over the course of all of human history. It's just a matter of the conditions of life being different. If we were to go back to ancient Egypt, it might look very strange to us. People talk different, they dress different, they do a lot of different stuff. They look very, very foreign in their way, but that's largely because of just differences of circumstance. If we really examine their lives, we would see that they are not different from us at all. You know what? We have a lot of writing from ancient Egypt that's been preserved and we've been able to translate. And you know what a lot of it is? It's letters. People writing to each other, "Hey, I miss you. Haven't seen you in a while. How's the family? Can I borrow some money? Hope you're well." I mean, it's it's basic stuff. It's human stuff. They're not weirdos. They're us. They're us. People are people. Folks is folks. Peoples is peoples. That is, yes, letters. And it's uh it's really phenomenal to look back at this. One of my favorite things, I'm going to type this so you get it. There's a guy in ancient Mesopotamia called A Nasser. And if you ever get a chance, look him up. A Nasser was a copper merchant something like 4,000 years ago. And we know because we found his home and he had a bunch of letters preserved. They were on stone tablets, the way, or clay tablets, the way that the ancient Mesopotamians wrote. They're preserved in his house. Um, and he was a scam artist. The guy was a ripoff artist. He has so many letters of people writing him, complaining to him about late shipments and incomplete shipments and substandard products and all this stuff. The guy was a con artist. Um, and it's hilarious to me that this one dude who comes down to us from history, he's not like some, historian or priest or anything like that. He's a ripoff artist. He's a shaggy copper salesman. I love that we know his name. That cracks me up. Uh, it's just delightful to me. People are people. So we're going to learn about how people have answered the core questions of human existence. We're going to explore some of the core elements of the human experience and its permutations uh, from Mesopotamia through Egypt, Greece, Rome, and into the European Middle Ages. Now, does that mean that nothing human or interesting was going on in Africa or South America or the Americas or Japan or China? No, lots of interesting stuff was going on. But I have 15 weeks to cover 5,000 years of history. And I've only got so much time and I only have so much expertise. I would love to tell you about all the stuff going on in China during some of these periods, but I just don't know that material as well. So I'm going to focus on a small portion of the big picture. And I hope that you will go and in other classes or even on your own, I hope that you will find out some of this other stuff. That would be awesome. So anyway, so that's what we're going to do. Any questions so far? Feel free to jump in. Okay. We've still got 9 people, which means most of you haven't checked out. So awesome. Yay. I haven't driven you off yet. Woo. All right. So, okay. Let's check in on Elias. Let's see what he's doing. Elias is still asleep. Okay. All right. So, okay, good question, Juan. How will I split the chakras and when should you read each chakra? Okay, good deal. So there's a schedule in Blackboard that talks about the chapters and how they're split up. Now, Juan raises a great question, so I'm gonna yeah, there are due dates attached to the schedule in Blackboard under the schedule section on your menu. Now, here's the thing. Sorry, I'm a caffeine addict. Those due dates are all soft due dates. I would recommend. Thank you, Anna. I love you too. Okay. Um, I love you all. I do. Um, I do. I really want the best for you guys. I want you to have good, fulfilling, interesting lives. Um, I just don't like you very much. No, I'm kidding. That was a joke. That was terrible. I shouldn't have said that, right? Although, oh God, speaking of jokes I shouldn't make, every semester before this one, I used to joke how I would always get sick at the beginning of a semester because all you guys are germ factories and the guy should be allowed to spray you down with Lysol as you come into the class. Well, don't I feel silly now, right? Um, okay. Anyway, um, I was just kidding, man. You got to prove me right. Anyway, though, about the due dates. All the due dates for the semester are soft due dates. Constant. There you go. Constant coffee creamer advisory. There you go. All the due dates are soft due dates, which means that yes, I feel like you should be done with the first chapter by this Sunday night. But if you're not, nothing happens. Uh, like humanities ninjas are not dispatched to your house to like cut off a toe or something. That doesn't happen. Um, it's fine. The only hard due date in this class is the end of the semester. If you get caught up in your life and have to like check out mentally for 2 weeks because you're taking care of stuff around the house or your kids or dealing with other classes or whatever, if you have to do that and then come back and get back on track and kind of catch up, nothing bad happens to you. Literally nothing bad happens to you. There's no hard due date until the end of the semester. Now, please don't take that as an invitation to leave all your work until the end of the semester. Like, that's bad for you. And bad for me because I have to grade it. Holy crap. It's bad for both of us. But, yeah. So great question, Juan. Excellent question. Uh, how will the chapters be split up and when are they due? That is in the schedule tab or the schedule menu option on the left side on the Blackboard site, but all the due dates are soft due dates. Does that answer your question? I'll assume it does. How about that? Okay. But that brings us to a good point. Uh, let's see here about the chapters and the grading. Yeah, about the grading. So I'm gonna do. Hopefully, you've all read my grading scheme. Cool, good deal one. Hopefully, you've all read my grading scheme, which is a little weird. If you haven't, here's the short version. And if you need to or want to, there's a little grading. What the heck am I doing? Menu option on the left side of Blackboard. Because I understand that some of you just want to get the bare bones of this class, get your C and leave, cool. What we can do with that is, well, the problem is right now the ebook is all screwed up. But my idea was once the once the ebook starts, that's when you'll be able to work on your homework. But here's the key thing, Jeremiah, good question. Here's the key thing. You are not required to do any of the quizzes on the ebook. You're not required to. About once every 2 or 3 weeks, I'm going to give you like a 500-word essay to work on. The essay will relate primarily to the material from the lectures, from these live streams. Although reading the book will be helpful for writing them. But it's going to primarily relate to the videos. You will work on those essays if you want to. You can do those essays, and whatever your average grade on those 5 essays is, that's the grade I will give you in the class. If you get an A average on those essays, I'll give you an A in the class. Even if you didn't do any of the quizzes. Does that make sense? You can do 0 quizzes, none, nil, naga, zilch, zip, 0. You can do none of the quizzes. Just do the essays that relate to like how you understand the lectures, and then that's the grade I'll give you in the class. So why would anyone do the quizzes, you may ask? Ha ha. Why would anyone do the quizzes? Because the quizzes, once the ebook starts, the quizzes are all built in, and you take them on your own time, and you don't need to like wait for me or listen to a lecture or anything like that. And if you get a passing average on the quizzes, I'll give you a C in the class, even if you do none of the essays. So what you have is a choice. You can just read the book and take the quizzes on your own time at your own pace. What chapters would you like for us to cover the most time in? Well, we're going to spend a lot of time on the Rome chapters and the medieval chapters. Again, this is all in the schedule on the Blackboard site. We're starting with chapters 1 and 2. I put scans of chapters 1 and 2 up so you can start reading those on your own if you like. Look, let me be honest with you. I don't like this book. I would not be using this book if I had a choice. But the humanities course is bigger than you and me. It's for the whole college. It's a thing. I didn't get to choose it. They chose it before I got here. That's life. Sometimes life is like that. Forget it, Jake. It's Chinatown. Anyway, whatever. Sometimes that's how it goes. That's how it be. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. This book is dry. I do not enjoy reading this book. I'm not trying to scare you. I mean, maybe a little. I'm not trying to scare you. I don't enjoy reading this book, and I love this shit. The book is not necessarily going to be a thing that you have a lot of fun with. But it's helpful if you need background information for the class. The book can be helpful, and if all you want to do is get a C, all you have to do is read the book and take the quizzes. Essays need to be MLA and certain style. No, I'm not. I wouldn't recognize MLA if it bit me on the butt. So, great question, Haley. You can just write them in a sort of natural tone. If you do cite anything, you'll need to reference it properly. Yeah, thank God, right? Yeah. If you do cite something, you'll need to reference it properly, but you shouldn't need to cite anything. I'll literally just be asking you to explain certain things back to me. So, see, think of it as if it was an essay question on a test, except you get to work on it at home and it's a little longer. Traumatized enough. Yeah, yeah. One, they make you. They've hurt you. They've hurt. Show me on this paper. Show me on this works cited page how they hurt you. Yeah, it's terrible. I'm with you. But then again, I have an English degree and a PhD, and I couldn't cite something properly in MLA if I had to. So, say la vie. That's how it goes. I love doing that because English teachers hate it when I say that. So I love saying it. Anyway, but the point is, you have a choice. You can work at your own speed and do your own thing and do the quizzes in the ebook and get a C, or you can follow along with the lectures and write the essays and get whatever the average grade on that was. So you can do sort of either one. And if you want to hedge your bets, like do both, cool. Like if you did all the quizzes and passed all the quizzes and had a B on the lectures, like the lecture essays, I would probably consider giving you an A overall. Um, but that's up to you. Um, so anyway, hopefully that has explained it clearly. My grading system is a little strange. I'll grant you. Um, it's a little weird, but it is what it is. Let's see if we can get a shot of the cat. Okay, that's Basil. Anyway, okay. All right, and okay. So where was I? Grading, lectures, style, big ideas. We're going to talk about what it means to be human and how people have answered the core question of humanity over the last 5,000 years in part of the world, at least. Um, and what is the core question of humanity? Well, there's a lot of them. I feel like we've all got very similar experiences in some ways, right? We all want to know what the point of it all is. We all want to have some sense of our place in the universe. There's some basic stuff. And there is one thing, this isn't the only thing, but I think it's fascinating to me that humans have always been so concerned with it. There's one thing that we all do. So the essays need to be 500 words. They're going to be about 500. Basically, every couple of weeks, I'll give you a new essay question to sort of mull over and answer, and you should get those back to me in a reasonable amount of time, like I don't know, before the end of the semester. Uh, but that's about it, basically. As long as they show an understanding of the lectures and the fact that you've taken this stuff in. In other words, not just that you've memorized a few things, but that you're really sort of rolling it around in your head and that you get it. Um, that's really all I expect. So, um, oh yeah, one of the things I like, here's my example for the idea that we've been dealing with the same kinds of questions through all of human history. What sorts of topics? Ah, great question. I tell you what, if it'll help you guys, I use topics that are similar to my test questions, which are always essay tests. I use topics that are similar to those. If you want, I can post my past essay test questions uh, in the Blackboard site if that would be helpful to you. And you can look at the questions, the kinds of questions that I like to ask. Uh, would that be helpful? I'm going to assume yes, but I think the answer is going to be yes. Yeah. So I'll post that. I'll try and post that this afternoon, and make sure you guys are up to date on that. Okay, cool. Good deal. Good deal. Yay. Wow, you guys are so responsive. If we miss a lecture, will you post the quiz? Oh yeah. No problem. The videos, once I've finished with them on live stream, they're going to be posted so that you can watch them later at your own convenience or rewatch them multiple times. Maybe you just put it on a loop because my voice helps you sleep. I don't know. Probably not that one, but I'm guessing not that one. Uh, but anyway, it's up to you. Whatever you like. Yeah. So I'm trying to make this as easy as possible on you guys. Well, I'm glad, Keller. I I am not here to make anyone's life more difficult. I'm here to present you with an opportunity to learn. And like being a jackass to you doesn't really help that. So I don't believe in that shit. Uh, I'm not down with that. I'm not a hard ass. I'm here to help you, not control you. I don't think people would find my voice very soothing, Anna, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Tonight, go to sleep. Yeah, I could do a little anyway, whatever. Okay, so anyway, one of the things that I think is fascinating about the human condition is that the earliest piece of literature we have, the very oldest piece of literature that we still have, is called the Epic of Gilgamesh. And it is ancient Sumerian. It's an ancient Sumerian epic. Now, what is an epic? Uh, I wish I could do. I need to buy a whiteboard, don't I? I need to buy a little whiteboard that I can hold up. I miss my whiteboard. Okay. Okay, so an epic is larger than life people doing larger than life things. That's an epic. Just larger than life characters doing larger than life things. Like the Avengers movies. That's an epic. The Epic of Gilgamesh is about Gilgamesh, and he was a Sumerian king. And he was, wait for it, he was two thirds God. Now, some of you are saying that's not how biology or math works. And to the people who said that, I say, I agree. But the ancient Sumerians somehow did not. Maybe they knew something we don't. Or much more likely, we know something they don't. Anyway, Gilgamesh, two-thirds God, a king in this story of Uruk, king of Uruk, the Sigi, Sumerian Sigi, uh, uh, king of Uruk, and he was a great king, but also a terrible king. You have to understand how these people thought, these ancient Sumerians. He was a great king because he was powerful, and he could build walls and fortifications and towers, and he could make the city great, and he could fight their enemies and protect them. But he was a terrible king because he was bored and he would get drunk and he would terrorize the citizens. And they prayed to the gods to send someone to be his companion so that he would have something to do other than terrorize the citizens. And they sent a wild man. They sent a wild man from the forests in Kaigu. They sent Kaigu to be his friend. And Kaigu and Gilgamesh fought. They met each other and they fought for 3 days. And when neither one of them could win, they decided to become friends. My wife says that is the most male thing ever. I don't know if she's right, but I feel like maybe she is. She's like they met, they immediately fought each other, and then they became friends because of it. She's like, that's like so very male. Maybe she's right. But that's just more proof that people are people. Yeah, so yeah, that's very Juan agrees with my wife on this one. That's just very much a man thing. So anyway, so yeah. Complete shag energy. Yeah. Right? Complete shag energy. I'm liking that. Okay. So they become friends. They have lots of adventures. But the adventures are not the point of the story. It's important, yeah, mine especially, Haley. It's important to be able to tell the difference between what happens in a story and what the story is about. The what happens in a story is not always what the story is about. The purpose of the story. Um, what happens in this story is that Gilgamesh meets someone who is his equal, and they have adventures, and then they're fighting a creature called the Great Bull of Heaven. And it has come down and it is rampaging in the fields and destroying the crops. And so they have to stop it. And they kill the Great Bull of Heaven. But in the process, Enkidu is kicked and he suffers a mortal injury and he dies. And Gilgamesh is sad, but he's also scared because he realizes that for the first time, he can die. Do you understand why? Enkidu and Gilgamesh were just as powerful. That's why they have that fight earlier on, right? Right? That's the narrator is setting us up. They have the fight to prove that they're just as powerful as each other. And that means if Enkidu can die, Gilgamesh can die. So Gilgamesh realizes that he can die. And he sets off on a journey for immortality. And he finally finds the secret of immortality, which he immediately loses because he's a dumbass. And I swear to God, that really is the stupidest thing in the universe. He loses it because he's a dumbass. And he's very sad. But when he gets back to his city of Uruk and he sees the walls that he built as king, he isn't sad that he's going to die. Not anymore. And that's the end of the story. Why does that matter? What was that about? What was the point of scaring him with the idea of his own death, having him look for a way to be immortal? Yeah, right. That's the end. Yeah. Having him look for a way to be immortal, find it, lose it, so he knows he's going to die. But when he gets back and he sees the walls and the other things that he built, he's no longer frightened of death. Why? Why is that the story? What is the point of it? Does anyone have any guesses? It's fine if you don't, but toss me a guess if you got it. People are like, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, I think that's correct. Basically, it seems like the reason he's okay with dying is that he's going to leave something behind that matters. He did something with his life. He was a king. He built the walls and his accomplishments were great. Yes, Haley. He did something. Now, what is that story about? That story is about fear of death. And I don't want to be a downer, but the most essential human experience is death. I have yet to meet someone who isn't going to die. His work that he made, yes. His memory will stand. His life accomplished something. We're all going to die someday. This feels like a weird subject to be. I start every semester with this, but it feels like such a more important thing to be talking about right now. It really does. We're all going to die someday. And we got to figure out how to deal with that. We do. That's what it means to be human. Figuring out how to cope with the fact that you're going to die. Because at some point, you become aware of that. As a kid, at some point, or an adult, you become aware of the fact that, holy shit, death isn't just something that happens to other people. It's going to happen to me too. And you got to figure out how to be okay with that. I've met people who never really did. I've met some people who never really completely, fully figured out how to be okay with that. They're still very, very weird about it. It's all right. It's the human experience. And this story, the Epic of Gilgamesh, literally the oldest piece of literature we have, it's almost 5,000 years old, The oldest piece of literature we have is about that single most human experience. How do I cope with the idea that I'm going to die? And I know that people are people and that we are just doing our thing. People are people, and the experiences that we have are basically the same throughout all of history. I know that because not long ago, well, a little bit long ago, but the most popular books and movies in the world were about the same thing. They were about how to cope with the idea of death. The main character in the book, the main character's life was shaped by significant deaths. And the main enemy in the books was someone who could not accept the idea of death. And all the bad things that that character did were to run away from the idea of dying. The oldest, yeah, right. The oldest text can't be, "Hey, so talk to you tomorrow." Yeah. Well, I think people preserved this because it was so important to them. But yeah, in these books, not very long ago, very popular books and movies, the main bad guy is a bad guy because they can't deal with dying. And all the horrible things they do are because they can't accept that they too will die. And the main good guy character is who he is because people around him died, and then grows to confront the concept of death and later to accept. He eventually wins because he can accept that he is going to die, and that's okay. It's not the worst thing that can happen. Anybody know what I'm talking about? I wonder if people are going to get this. It's Harry Potter, man. Harry Potter, right? People are like, but that's a book about wizards and owls and broomsticks. No, wizards and owls and broomsticks are just some of the shit that happens in those books. Those books are about death and growing up with death. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What are you, man? Yeah, the concept of, oh shit, I'm gonna die. How do I handle that? That's as old as any concept we know of, all the way back to the Epic of friggin' Gilgamesh. I'm the beautiful line here. Yeah, yeah. Well, and true both. So yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Read the books. Really, they're better, Jeremiah. We're still talking about it 5,000 years later, after the Epic of Gilgamesh. Uh, J.K. Rowling made a ton of money talking about death, talking about how to cope with the idea of knowing that you're going to die. People are people. We are who we are. This is who we are, and our experiences are not that different. We're going to learn about the ancient Sumerians and the ancient Egyptians and the Greeks and the Romans and into the Middle Ages, and we're going to learn about the fact that their lives looked very different from ours. We're going to talk about why. What were the conditions and the circumstances uh, that caused their lives to look different than ours? Um, so anyway, so that's what we're doing in this class. Hopefully, you all still want to be in it. Um, hopefully, uh, and hopefully we'll have a little fun, and you guys won't have to work too hard. I hope. Um, Are there any other questions before I check out right now? Obviously, you can always post in the discussion forums or you can email me. Uh, that's always workable. I will continue to try to work on the ebooks. Man, I'll do what I can. Uh, I'm frustrated as you are. Believe me. Anything else that we want to cover? Nope. All right. Well, are you sure this class is psychology? I'm sure. I'm sure. I mean, there's a little psychology in it, but here's the funny thing about the humanities: literature, psychology, the social sciences, and humanities. They all sort of, as you go higher up the pyramid, they all kind of turn into one thing. They're all sort of mixed up in each other, a lot. So anyway, um, all right. Well, hopefully, awesome. This is great. I'm just spouting random words that sound good now. Awesome, radical, Migo. Um, my pep rally thing. Yeah, no. Hopefully, we're gonna have a lot of fun in here. You guys take care. Try to get some rest. Hopefully, your other classes are going well. Do some reading in the scans that I posted if you get a chance. I'll try to get the ebook fixed. Um, I will post more information about the essays and stuff as soon as I have it, and I'll post those questions later today. Um, thank you all for being here. All right. Well, have a great day, yo.